The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to the Drive Print V4 introductory webinar. I'm just going to give everyone a minute or so. I see some people are joining. There is a questions option here on the right, so you can ask any questions you want, and then at the end we'll let everybody ask their questions if they want to say them. We'll unmute you, and then this will also be recorded, so we'll post it on our YouTube channel later for you guys to watch. Okay, so here we're going to share my screen, and you'll see that we'll have a lot of screenshots here, some information about Drive Print version 4, and we'll talk a little bit about the features, what's new, what's different, and also how you can get your hands on it, and how we'll help you set it up for your customers. We've got a couple people from the Drive team on the webinar. Bob West, who's one of our pre-sales people, myself, Matt Greco, and we've got Anna Nemchinova, who is our new sales hotline help desk person, which you may have talked to her on the phone already. So we'll see. We've got a couple people logging in still. Hopefully for some of you this will be new. For some of you it'll be a little bit of a refresher. We have introduced Drive Print version 4 to a couple of the offices sort of as a test run, particularly in California and in Georgia. We've already got about 15-20 customers running Drive Print version 4 in the US in the Sharp SBS channel, and a lot more in the dealer channel. A little background is that some of you who are familiar with Drive Print version 3, we've just released and have had validated Drive Print version 4. Drive Print version 4 is a complete supercharged reworking of the product. They can run independently of each other, and as you'll see here, there are a lot of improvements with Drive Print version 4, including some stability and architectural improvements, as well as a whole lot of features. We will still be supporting Drive Print version 3 for the next couple of years to honor any maintenance contract. We just won't be adding a lot of new features into it. Most of the new features will be going into Drive Print version 4. So if you're not familiar, Drive Print is a print management application that runs on print servers to help manage and report on print traffic, as well as to provide authentication services at the MFP, the Sharp MFP device, through the OSA AMX2 and AMX3 kits. It also allows for some rules-based printing and mobile printing to help make it easier to print, and also to help it make it easier for companies to reduce prints and to get a better insight into who's printing what and when. So the standard features of Drive Print are pretty similar to what they were before. Device authentication, self-association of cards via card reader, embedded pull printing application, mobile printing, email printing, detailed usage and tracking for who's printing what, when, and where. And some of the new features here we'll go through, but one of the big ones is a full MFP usage and consumables monitoring, so that the dealer and the customer can monitor the consumables of the device as well as their status. So there's a lot of new stuff here. For instance, we've got a brand new MFP interface. It's improved, it's a little faster, and there's some cool features on there, which I'll show you in a little bit, including document thumbnails and page removal. We've also got more of a visual reporting dashboard for the administrators so that they can log in and see with pie charts and graphs visually who's printing what and when and what the trends are versus just a straight data dump. We've also got a full, easy-to-use rules-based print engine, desktop notifications for those print rules. We've got a much more scalable architecture here, which allows us to run Drive Print in very large distributed environments. There's a really cool feature here for serverless printing so that users can print directly to the Sharp MFPs and Drive will still report on it. So we don't have to actually print through the print server anymore if you want to do these kind of functions. We've also got local USB reporting now, and like I said before, full consumables management. And we'll go through some of these features in a little more depth with some screenshots. If you've seen the new Drive Print version 4, you've seen this screen. It's our login screen. You see there that a user has swiped a card and is registering that card as a new user. One thing that we still are able to do, which we've won a lot of business with the Sharp branches, is standalone mode, which means that in order to do card swipe login for scanning for single sign-on with Drive Image or for pull printing, you do not need to use the AMX3 kit. We can keep the machine unlocked and only ask for a card swipe when the user wants to print a print job or do a scan. That's very important because we're the only application that lets you do that. And a lot of other devices, such as the Ricoh, Xerox, Toshiba, allow you to pick what you lock down. So we can mimic that kind of functionality if you're trying to steal a deal away from one of those other vendors. So this should look new to you. It's the pull printing screen of Drive Print. There's a lot more information there. I think that it's one of the fastest apps on the OSA devices. You see there that it shows you the name of your job, some information about it, shows you the cost and the environmental consumption information on the right. One of the very cool things that we can do here is show a preview of the document. This demos very well. It's a very nice feature. You can also change the settings here, so you can change the document to black and white. You can change it to duplex, and you can change it the number of copies right here at the panel. And very cool, you can actually cut pages out just by tapping them. And that will change the price and the environmental consumption there. So the users will be able to see how much water or carbon or money, for instance, they're saving by cutting out those pages. Here's an example of the statistics that we can see here in the Drive Print administrative page. You see that there's all sorts of tracking based off the percentage of jobs, the size of the jobs, how much is saved by redirections and deletions of the jobs. Here's an example in our Sharp machine in Austin of what our print total is here for January and February and what the trends are. You can see if anybody was thinking about making a sales call to our office that we don't really print that much, so it's probably not going to be a very profitable deal for you. But it looks like we're going up a little bit here in February. Here's an example of the daily usage. So there's a full dashboard to show who's printing what and when and what the daily trends are, which starts to look really nice once you have a lot of data in there. Here is an example of the consumables page. It'll actually show you even when an LED light is turned on the device. This is very helpful because it allows the customers to do kind of a first shot troubleshooting before they call you if there's an issue printing. They'll see here that it's empty. This can also be set up to send notifications to administrators or to the dealer via email once a month or whenever something is low to notify you what's low, what the percentage is. And it can also be set up to send up desktop notifications for the specific administrators of those devices so that they can see, for instance, with a desktop pop-up on their PC when a printer is down for whatever reason. Each user has his or her own page here where she can log in, see the print data, see their data in relation to the other users in the company. And you see up at the top, we can create a new unique code for that user every day. So if the user has forgotten his or her card, they can log in with that number, and it can change every day for security reasons or be static, or it can also come from Active Directory. So one of the big improvements here with DrivePrint version 4 is that it's enterprise ready. It's a product that we've been selling in Europe for about 5 or 6 years. We're just now bringing it over to the United States. It's set up much more for larger environments, or rather it's more able to handle larger environments. It's very modular. What that means is if you have a company with, let's say, a main office where all the print servers are communicating with their existing SQL server and a web server, and then some remote offices, we can actually set up the remote offices to be completely independent and run their own little SQL Express database, so that if the network goes down, nothing bad will happen. Those remote offices will still work, and they can reach out periodically to the main office to update their data and update their user records. So really what we mean by that is it's completely modular. We can set up an environment here with the different components of DrivePrint to mimic exactly what's needed in a certain environment. And I see that Chris is on here from SPS New Jersey. We're actually just doing that right now with a customer that has some remote server setups. We're setting up different components in different places to create a perfectly tailored environment here for that customer. We can use existing SQL servers. The setup is almost instant. I think that you can set up DrivePrint on a server and connect to a SQL server in about 5 minutes if you wanted. There's a wizard here to help you do the install. It's very easy to set up. Primary, secondary server for failover and configuration control. And here, as you see down at the bottom, we have existing implementations with over 1,000 MFPs and in some cases 100 print servers. So it's really designed to handle a large, high volume environment, and that's one of the big major improvements here. We've had some instances where we've migrated DrivePrint version 3 customers over to DrivePrint version 4, and all of their print volume issues have disappeared. It's very scalable and very robust. One of the other very cool things that we've done is we've added print rules. No scripting required. There's a very easy to use administrative page where the admin can set up rules based off the if then else strategy. So let's say if a user is in this group and the device is in this location and the cost is above this, then we want to redirect the job to this group of MFPs and hold it. This is used by Sharp Canada. Their offices sell this with almost every deal, so they can start driving prints from the printers like HP network printers, driving those prints to the Sharp MFPs. So you see we can cancel the job, redirect the job, and print it based off the rules. And one of the nice things here is we actually use the Microsoft Messenger service so that we do not have to install a client on every desktop in order to use these rules. So the user needs to do nothing. Let's say if you set up a rule that says if it's a job in color that costs more than $10, immediately hold it. The pop-up will just pop up on that user's desktop right when they print it, and it'll tell them with a custom message that their job has been redirected. It's holding for them now at one of the Sharp MFPs, and they'll need to release it. So it makes it a lot easier to actually implement these rules because it doesn't require something being installed on everybody's desktop. So there's a lot of new features. It's basically an entirely new product. We do want to get it in all of your hands, and we want to help any existing customers upgrade to DrivePrint version 4. We've got a team here in Austin that are happy to help and are standing by, waiting to help you get it set up. We will do a free upgrade for any customer who's a current V3 customer who wants to take a look at version 4. I have one actually in about an hour with Jim George out in California, an existing customer with version 3. They're adding 30 more machines in a remote office, and we're doing a free demo of version 4 so that they can decide if they want to upgrade or not. So that's something that we're happy to do. frankly, we're happy to do that, even if it's a new customer, to help you win the deal. We will give free demo room licenses to the Sharp offices. So I think it's set up in a lot of places already, but if anybody wants to get it set up in their demo room, just let us know. We'll schedule time. We'll give you a permanent, fully functional license, which we can do that with Drive Image as well. Personal training, online training videos, and also at Drivve.com, the full documentation for Drive Print version 4 is in the knowledge base in the support section at Drivve.com. So it's fully documented. There are manuals for how to set it up in the Sharp. There are white papers. It's all ready to go. So let us know if you have any questions, if you want to see any specific documentation, if you can't find what you're looking for, or if you want to get it set up in your demo room. Like I said, we've had some success so far, and it's a really nice product. And especially once you combine it with Drive Image for single sign-on, that's when the possibilities become almost endless. So anyway, let us know if you have any questions. I'm going to open the floor here. I don't know if anybody asked any questions there. Priya asked if I can share the PowerPoint. No problem. I will send a link around. Maybe I can send it to all of the attendees here with a PowerPoint, some screenshots that we have, a video, and some documentation and white papers. And also this recorded webinar. We'll send that around after the follow-up email. So if anybody has any questions, raise your digital hand here and I'll unmute you. George asks if it will give the same MIB data for other manufacturers, and the answer is yes, it will. Drive Print comes with, if you're buying MFP licenses, it comes with 2 network printer licenses so that you can monitor network printers. Remember that Drive Print does not charge for users. It only charges for MFPs and network printers. And like I said, every MFP license will come with 2 network printer licenses. And it will give that same MIB data for the other manufacturers as long as that data is available, right? If that, let's say an HP printer doesn't have a value for yellow toner, then obviously that's not going to be there. But we'll show whatever is available for those other manufacturers. So Aaron asks, what about parallel connected printers? Actually, Aaron, I don't know what that means. I'm going to unmute you here, and maybe if you would, you could explain.
Hey, just devices that aren't IP'd.
Ah, yeah. There is a local agent that you can install that will let you track and monitor USB connected printers.
Okay. That's what I thought. I jumped on late, sorry, so I wasn't sure if that got addressed.
No problem. Yeah, so that's it's just a very light application that gets installed, and there's actually not even an interface for it. You just install it, type in the server that you want to send the data to, and the user never really sees it, but it tracks all the USB printers.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. I'm going to mute you. Okay. So Priya asked, who should the branch contact for demo setup? I will put that information in the follow-up email, but we have a pre-sales hotline, and one of our support or pre-sales people will be happy to schedule time with you. Julio asked if we're going to send a copy of the presentation. I will send a whole packet with the presentation in the follow-up email. On-site training depends on availability, but absolutely. We try to get out and visit all the branches a couple times a year. And if you want to integrate an on-site training, just let us know if that could be coupled, obviously, with maybe some sort of event or sales training. Obviously, it helps if you say, like, hey, we always get the sales reps together on the first Monday of each month, and could we do an on-site training the day before or in that morning? Obviously, if we're going to come on site, we'd like to get the most bang for our buck. So just suggest any dates, and we'll get someone out there. Let's see, Wes. Hey, Wes, he said, do we have pricing? We need additional printer licenses. I do believe that those printers are on the Sharp price list. I don't know what the exact cost is. It's pretty nominal, but I'll double check later. I don't know, Priya, if you have it open to see, but there is a price for additional network printers. Priya asked if there's any change in licensing or pricing. There is not. The SKUs are exactly the same on your price list. You can let us know if you want to get a version 3 license if you have an existing customer or something, and we'll be happy to send you a version 3 license if that's needed. But the SKUs are exactly the same. The prices are the same. Nothing will have changed. So the only thing that I will say about setting up the demo rooms is we've noticed that the login time for Drive Image in the SBS offices is painfully slow. Seems that there's not a Active Directory or a DNS server in each location, so it's all going across to New Jersey. We are looking at ways of making that faster. I will say, for experience, for some of the people that have seen that delay in the office and then seen it at a customer site, I have never seen anything even remotely as slow as that login in the SBS offices. It won't affect Drive Print for the card swipe, but with Drive Image, when we do a single sign-on and it actually logs the user in, it takes a little longer. So we're trying to figure out a way to make that faster. We have a way of kind of faking it for a demo purpose in the meantime, but something that we'll have to keep that straight. Julio mentions that we might want to talk about keeping on a separate server from PaperCut. That is true. It's not a limitation of Drive Print. One of the differences between Drive Print version 3 and version 4 is that Drive Print version 4 lets you view the printers, the TCP/IP printers that exist on a server, and you pick which ones you want Drive to monitor. Whereas before we had our own little port. Drive, Print, and PaperCut have a hard time together, particularly because PaperCut will automatically take control of all the printers on a server. So if you have Drive Print and PaperCut on the same server, which I'm sure a lot of you will for demonstration purposes, you will need to do something in PaperCut to exclude the Drive Print printers so that PaperCut is not affecting the performance. But there's no real technical reason why they can't work together. It's just there's some stuff you need to do in PaperCut to kind of let those Drive Print printers alone. So, like I said, it's a very cool app. It's been running in a lot of places. We have some case studies. We've got a lot of success stories, and we're happy to migrate your old customers, help you win new customers, and also help you get it set up in your demo room. Anything you guys need, we're here to help. I will be sending this presentation and some white papers and some brochures around later as a follow-up email. And anybody who wants to try to schedule some remote or on-site training, just let us know, and either myself or Bob or one of our support people will either come visit you or we'll do it remotely. Particularly if you're somewhere warm. Okay, so doesn't look like there's any more questions. I'll keep it open for a couple minutes. Thank you for joining. Let us know how we can help, and we'll be sending some information around you guys' way shortly.